I can be done with it. I can finish it later.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Planet Xbox episode 71. And as promised, I have special guests here today. Been waiting on this for a long time. Finally made it happen. Shout out to RGT85 in the building.
What's going on? Glad to be here.
Yeah.
Glad to have you here, live, flesh, in the direct. And it's crazy. And people probably who follow you and probably know this, but we had just like some small talk. I did not realize RGT85 had ties to Connecticut. As you guys all know, I'm from Connecticut. You guys watched me bounce from Connecticut to New Jersey and stuff like that. So so that was cool to talk about, familiar places. But RGT, great to have you on. Been a fan for a long time of yours. Probably one of the only Nintendo content creators I watch. But what you been up to and what you got going on?
Man, just, playing games, making videos, trying to navigate through this housing market right now. I'm trying to buy a place, and this is my first time ever buying something, so I'm kind of learning as I go along, and right now everything's just crazy. But I mean, pretty much just staying busy, enjoying NBA free agency too. Very, very active free agency. So it's been a fun week so far.
Awesome. Big free agency week. I'm still trying to get my head around how, Russell Westbrook, LeBron, AD, and hopefully those shooters are able to shoot. You know what I mean? Because Wes Matthews disappointed me last year to the point I was extremely bothered.
Kuzma disappointed you. Schroeder disappointed you.
Oh, God.
Nets in 6 though.
Let's see if Nets can get past Milwaukee. So.
Oh, we're gonna get past them next year.
You're not. No, I think I had to say that Chris Paul contract definitely took me off guard.
Yeah,
I guess not necessarily the money, but the length.
Yeah,
he's gonna be 40.
By the time
the dude always gets hurt all the time too. Like he's never like healthy all the time. It's always some knick-knack injury or like I don't know. It's really weird with him because he definitely does make a team better, but is he worth another 4 years when the dude's about to be past his prime?
Yeah. Like, that's why I'm happy with Kimba. The Knicks got Kimba for 2 years at $8 million a year. It's like, sign him up. Let's go, baby.
It's easy. The dude's rehabbing. Like, he doesn't have any serious injuries.
And that's crazy. That's crazy. New York is known for overpaying people.
Right.
Guys got him for a steal.
They have a history of overpaying people. But, the Knicks looking good. Expect them to be a lot playoff team. They got a great core. You know who else has a great core that just came out of nowhere? Chicago.
Oh, Chicago, yeah. They did a lot of acquisitions. I like the Lonzo acquisition.
Lonzo,
they got Alex Caruso.
DeRozan.
DeRozan was a little high, though. I felt DeRozan was a little high.
I don't know. Like
he's still young. I mean, he's DeRozan's underappreciated. Like, obviously, nobody was watching him in San Antonio, but he pretty much carried that team when they were playing. And you know what I mean? They did that. When he was on the Raptors, they were, prior to Kawhi, they were the Eastern Conference, finals team, or at least contending to get there. They always got bounced by LeBron, but he's pretty good. I was hoping he got to the Lakers, but once the Westbrook trade happened, it was like,
y'all got too many people. You can't just have everyone on the Lakers. Like, y'all are good. You got enough assets there.
Yeah. So it should be a fun season. Dope is Jay, man. What's up? How you doing, man? I see you cooking up a new video.
Oh yeah. I got the Halo Infinite video on my channel. Make sure you guys check that out at Dope is Jay on my YouTube channel. Got some real nice gameplay in there. And some really good feedback. I enjoyed the Halo Infinite flight, but I wanted to throw some extra feedback on making Halo Infinite a really complete Halo game outside of like what 5 and 4 was, because I go in greater detail. So watch the video if you guys want like my full thoughts. I'll talk about some of it here, but yeah, just been gaming, playing Halo. Finishing Final Fantasy VII Remake on PS5, and yeah, just been chilling, man.
In our native werewolf, Ole Man Logan.
It's always the werewolf, man. What's up, guys? Planet Xbox. I'm happy to be here. Happy with another week of some amazing gaming going on. Obviously, the Ascent came out last week, so that was what I literally binge played this weekend. That was definitely my playthrough of the weekend. So and I beamed through that game in about, I don't know, 25 maybe 30 hours. And I'm actually kind of come up with an idea because I was just trying to do some stuff with my channel, and I was gonna make a little review for it.
Yeah.
But like my catch is like my thing is like I want to do like a quick review, so like 3 pros, 3 cons, and a final verdict. So I was doing a series called Less Than 120. So it's gonna be a review in less than 120 seconds.
Good luck. I
did it. I got it filmed. I just got to edit.
Really?
I just got to edit. That's why I said I'm doing 3 pros, 3 cons, final verdict, and that's it.
Wow.
So I'm not doing like super in depth. So that's what I was working on before this. So I'll probably have it done, hopefully tonight, if not tomorrow.
Oh, yep.
Because I just got to finish it. But yeah.
Make sure you guys subscribe to Ole Man Logan as well. Links in the description.
I'm looking forward to this. I gotta see how you do this. I might have to bite some that way because I tried to do the Ascent impressions in less than 5 minutes. I said in my video, I'm going to try to do this less than 5 minutes of video and it being 10 minutes long. So, yeah, best of luck to you. I'm looking forward to that.
We'll see. We'll see how it is.
And our resident pony, Chris Righteous.
Yo, what is going on, everybody? First of all, hit the like button. This is going to be a good one. This is going to be a real good one. Shout out to RGT85. Shout out to everybody that's watching. Shout out to the Locks and Dipset last night, man. They had a hell of a versus, man. That shit was amazing. It took me back to my high school days, man. I used to listen to all that stuff all the time, but it definitely brought back a lot of nostalgia, a lot of memories and shit like that. So that was a good time. As far as gaming, man, I'm still playing through Skyward Sword HD.
Yep.
Honestly, I like all of the quality of life because it does have a lot of quality of life improvements, more so than what some people were thinking. But I still feel I still kind of feel the same way about the game today as I felt back then, which is it's definitely a great game. It's definitely like a great Zelda. But as far as all the other 3D Zelda, it's like the less of all the other 3D Zeldas, in my opinion, right? I still hold, Twilight Princess, Ocarina of Time, all the other Zeldas above it, but I still really enjoy Skyward, so I don't think it's trash like what people were saying back then. And then I'm playing Link's Awakening. By the way, RGT85, I'm the only one who plays Nintendo in the podcast. I'm the only one. I play Nintendo as well. I'm the PlayStation guy, but sometimes I do play Nintendo and shit like that. Like
out of everyone here, you play Nintendo the most, but you're not the only one.
Yeah, but
I do got my Switch, but it'd be sitting right here at my desk, completely dead.
Yeah, and then I'm still playing through Link's Awakening and the remake, and it's a real good game. But damn, that shit has a lot of frame rate issues, bro. I don't. That shit has a lot of it has for some, and it's annoying too. It's not like if it's like a subtle drop here and there, I wouldn't complain about it. But it's like constant when you go into like these different areas. The swamp area and stuff like that, it's like constantly dropping. So it's kind of that's the unfortunate part about the game, because other than that, I'm having a blast with that game. I think that shit's fun. But yeah, man, let's get into it, man. Let's get into these topics.
All right, man. So I would say what's everyone's playing, but I mean, RGT, what are you currently playing these days?
Right now, like the past 2 days, I've just been playing like retro stuff because I just finished up playing Skyward Sword HD, which was a game that back on the Wii I couldn't stand it. Like it's the only mainline Zelda game that I never finished. But definitely the quality of life improvements. And yeah, like you're totally right about that. It's a great game, but in the grand scheme of other 3D Zelda games, it definitely does feel a bit weaker than the other ones. But I don't think that necessarily takes away from the game. It's just like it's hard to go up against the other 3D Zeldas. But I definitely enjoyed that game a lot more. Been messing around with some Sega Saturn stuff. I need to download Flight Simulator. I keep seeing people talking about it and playing it, and it's like I kind of want to play it just to I guess fly around and look at stuff. Like I don't know, that seems kind of fun to me.
Yeah, I gotta do a couple more things in Flight Sim before I uninstall the game. Right, so it's not that it's a big game, very heavy game. It's soothing, but it's like I flew around like freaking Newark, New Jersey, and try to fly over where I currently live. I gotta go to Connecticut, fly out of Springfield, like freaking Mass, see what's going on over there. And I want to go through the Bermuda Triangle. I just want to see if the game recognizes the mysteries that take place there. Because I haven't seen anybody do it. I'm pretty sure people have done it, but I've yet to that. But I played a little bit of Flight Sim. Obviously, we're going to be talking about the Ascent and Halo. Those are the games I probably put majority of the time. This game called Last Stop. Before the Ascent and Flight Sim came out, I was playing The Last Stop. And this game is like a modern day. I don't know who to compare it to. Like, let's say it's a Telltale like. It's a Telltale.
Yeah, it's
game.
Telltale like. Yes,
Yeah.
very much.
It's 3 different stories that all end up connecting. It gets all super weird at the end, the way that it all connects. But I think for the most part, they did a good job with music, acting, plots. I had a complete enjoyable time playing the game. It's in Game Pass. I believe it's also on PlayStation and stuff like that. I forgot the name of the publisher. It's like Enurpia.
Enurpia. Yeah, one of those. Yep.
Yeah, they did it. Good job. I enjoyed the game. And like I said, I actually got to do another playthrough because that's another game I'm like a few achievements short of 100% completing.
Is there how many chapters is there? Because I think I'm done with like episode 3.
6.
There's 6. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm like about halfway through.
So each episode has like each episode I think have 5 chapters if I'm not mistaken, and then 6 is the finale, which is the longest chapter or episode. Yeah. I forgot how they break it down. Is it episodes or chapters? But good game for sure.
It's like Aliens. It's like based on alien stuff, right?
Yeah, I was getting CERN vibes, Portal vibes, a lot of conspiracy vibes I got from that. A Dope Boy, what have you been playing?
Oh, like I said, I've been playing the Halo Infinite Flight this past weekend.
Yeah.
Obviously, Final Fantasy VII Remake, loving that game. I just beat the house recently.
The house.
Yeah.
How long did it take? It took you like an hour, right?
No. It took me.
you a long ass
I
time.
have the recording of it. I can pull it up. I think it took me about like 30 minutes because I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I went on YouTube and looked up a strategy how to beat it fast. So I didn't want to go in there blind. So I knew which material to throw on ahead of time to get into that fight. So playing that, have a lot of fun playing that. It's gonna be a lot of footage I'm recording because I do want to do a review on that game. Like, I've never beaten Final Fantasy VII or even attempted to play the game in the past, so this is my first ever experience playing Final Fantasy VII, and I'm having a blast with it, honestly. And Apex new season recently dropped, and that's been like obviously like a game I play with a lot of friends. So they dropped a new hero called Seer inside Apex Legends, and they do need to tune him a bit. Hopefully they do, because there are moments in time where he can be a bit OP, but it's fun. Like the new weapons, the new hero, what they did to the map is pretty cool. And yeah, those have been the 3 games I've been playing.
Cool, awesome. So couple releases, a lot of talk taking place obviously on Twitter. The Ascent came out late last week, and I think last week I couldn't give an official because it was still under embargo. Sorry. Who says?
No, I was just saying it came out on 29th.
It came out, so it was after the podcast.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yep.
So it came out. The Metascores came out, which was obviously we talked about with it scoring 64 on Xbox, 75 on PC and whatnot. Obviously played it, completed. Logan, has anybody else played the Ascent since?
I played like an hour and didn't have the funnest time playing it. So yeah.
What about you, RGT?
No, I haven't played it yet. I'm kind of interested in it. I've heard mixed things. Like, I know MVG at first was like, I don't like this game. And then like 4 hours later, he was like, oh, I kind of do like this game. I'm like, but do you like the game or not? Like, do you think I would like this game? Like, what the hell? But he seemed to enjoy it a lot. So
it's funny you say that, because I've had my experiences like that pretty much too. I started the game and I was like, and then as the game opened up, what the problem is like, I haven't had it during the review period, so there was no day one patch, and we had a lot of bugs during co-op. Now, I tried to first tackle the game during co-op, and we had a lot of bad experiences with that. And I was like, "F it, I can't. Like, if I'm waiting on you, if this is gonna keep happening, I'm never gonna get the game done in time." Which unfortunately I didn't. So I saved my co-op character and then started a whole new character like the next day to do a solo run, and that's when I kind of got most of my enjoyment out of the game up and towards the later stages. But the game, yeah, it starts off slow, and then once the game opens up, the world opens up, it introduces you to new things, and I kind of fell in love with the gameplay loop that it offers in every new stage or area that opens up. The game visuals changes. It's like usually you play a smaller game, you see it and you get familiar with the looks, like all right, been there, done that. But every time you advance in the Ascent, it introduce something new, a new way to look at it. They try to do multiple things of different ways to look at the game, even if it's the matter of changing the camera angle. They did things to like switch it up and kind of surprise you. And for I think 11-man team, the game shows
it was 11
budget, right? In some cases, and in some cases they freaking they exceed expectations in some areas while meeting or not meeting expectations in other areas. Like for example, customization, I think was bare minimum. Kind of like, okay, for an RPG, customization needs to be top notch. But then you get to like the cutscenes and the destruction and like the level design. It's like, wait a minute, how much is this game again? Like it was a lot of like, so I like, and then the story itself is great. It's not 100% voice acting, but they put voice acting where they needed to. And then when you get the side missions, you get the
Yeah, that's annoying.
like sim language going on in the back.
Yeah, but overall, man, I've thoroughly enjoyed the game. It probably took me longer than it should to beat the game because obviously we ran into some bugs that we're going to talk about. But before I get into like the gripes of the game, Logan, I know you had a lot to say. Obviously, you're working on a video about it, and I know this was a major focus for you because I feel like you shared some of those sentiments where you would express how much you like the game, and then in the next sentence, every issue you had with the game. And so I want you to kind of elaborate on that.
It's definitely I love the game. It's like a love-hate relationship, dude. Like I loved everything about the game. I loved the style. I loved how the game looked. It ran really good, other than a few stutters. I love the gameplay. Like I really enjoy twin stick shooters, and they put like some RPG elements, so you're getting to do different stuff with your characters, finding different loot, exploring different things, like get your cyber deck, because like the cyber deck you can't like upgrade like through anything other than finding the cyber deck upgrade. So if you wanted to like hack certain machines and ATMs to get money and stuff, like you have to find those upgrades. So like I actually got finally. I think when you and I was playing, I think I had to upgrade. I found a cyber deck that got me the upgrade to hack ATM so I could get money. So like I loved everything about the game. I put like 25, maybe almost 30 hours into the game since it came out. But then like when I hit the end game and I was starting to do all the side missions and stuff, and I helped you out, get the last boss. I helped Robbie, hopped into his boss. I think somewhere along the lines that like my character like progress just decided to just take a shit. So like none of the stuff is I'm 4 achievements away from beating the game, and one of them is to literally die 100 times, and none of my progress is tracking if I just let enemies kill me. I can't find anywhere, like there's also complete like all the side missions and stuff, and it from what I look and what I see online, I have them all completed, but that's not unlocking for me. And then I think there's 2 achievements that are unattainable. They've been reported that they're unattainable. Nobody out there has them like recorded at all. It still says 0% on true achievements. Still says 0% on Xbox. So it's like I love the game, but then like when I got to the end, like all these like glitches and stuff started to appear that I didn't see throughout my entire play. I don't know if it was just because I was a little bit more relaxed and not really focused on like the story and stuff like that. And like there was one time, I don't know if it was when I played with you, Smooth, or when it was played with Robbie, but we were doing that last boss fight. When I spawned in, I had no guns. They just disappeared in the middle of gunfight.
Yeah, that was
like,
me.
So like little stuff like that, dude. Is like I'm like we're sitting there, we're trying to do these things, and the last fight, if anybody's beat it, the last fight is very hectic. It's very chaotic, and then just all of a sudden to just have your guns taken away from you for no reason other than they're just gone was like a little frustrating. So, but like the overall like feel of the game and the environments and stuff, like it just blew me away, especially with how vibrant the world looked. Like the world looked very decrepit and destroyed and decayed, but then it also looked very vibrant.
Yeah.
In that. So I loved the way it looked. They leave it open, not like spoilers, but I feel like they'll do a sequel to it, and I'd be I'd be happy to see like if they do like a sequel, if they take some of the stuff that they learned from this one and implement it and make better changes to hopefully improve the next game. I'll definitely, if they do an Ascent 2, I'm gonna play it. Like I loved it, and so that's my overall view. When I looked at Metacritic and I saw it was 64, I was kind of shocked by it because I think I would have done. So when I first beat the game, I would have gave it an 8. I would have gave it 8 out of 10. And right now, I'm kind of knocking it to 7.5 because I'm gonna knock like half a point off from glitches.
You know what's funny, bro? Because after we wrapped up the game and I tweeted immediately, complete 7 out of 10, you was like, oh, that's a little bit low, and now you're dropping yours down to a 7.
Yeah, but I'm only gonna go to 7.5. Like I honestly believe like if the game functioned properly and didn't have the glitches, I'd give it an 8 out of 10 easy.
Absolutely.
So I'm just knocking at that half a point, and I'm hoping with patches, with reportings and stuff like that, they'll get these glitches and stuff fixed so people later down the road will have a better time with it. I know on the Series S, I don't remember the exact error, but I only ever got it on my Series S because that's what I played on the most.
Mm-hmm.
I only ever played on the Series X a little bit. I think when you and I was playing, but I got like random like video space errors that just popped up and just like the system's like, nah, we ain't. Yeah, the system's like, nah, we ain't playing this game anymore. Like it just like, and then all you had was the option was to click OK, and then it just closed it out. I think I had that happen to me, I want to say 4 times in the game in like 20 some hours. So, but at least the nice thing about that game is it had very frequent saves and checkpoints. So it was like I just clicked on the game, loaded it right back up, and I was right where it crashed. So, but yeah, that was I'd give it a 7.5 out of 10. As we saw, I think what they said, it made $5 million.
Yeah.
So for 11-man studio, like that's pretty impressive. So
yeah,
they should have the money to 1, patch what they have now, and 2, invest in a sequel for sure.
Yeah.
You're gonna hire more people. They're gonna hire more people.
And maybe like double your staff for the sequel instead of 11. But to hear some of these lower budget games that do come, like I mean I very much enjoyed the Ascent. So to know that like the only 7 or only 11 people made that game is kind of bizarre, because the amount of like detail and stuff in that world is, I feel like, a lot for 11 people. I don't know. That's how I feel. I think Death's Door was another game that had like I think two people like actually make it. Obviously they did like contracts for artwork and stuff like that, but it was like 2 main people made Death's Door, and look where that game is at too. So it's interesting to see these little guys coming out with some big projects and stuff like that. So
yeah, and then right around the corner, was it 12 minutes is coming out as well?
Yeah, it's 12 minutes. Is like
you have 12 minutes.
That's one that Is it next week? Yeah, I'm gonna be taking that one.
No. It's 2 weeks. It's August 19th.
Okay. Yeah, because William Dafoe is in that, and I think I'm excited to see hear what his role in that game is.
Yeah,
because that's kind of cool to have William Dafoe in it.
So before I give an additional thoughts on the Ascent, I'm gonna give a shout out to Joey Bats 33 $5 super chat. He says the Ascent is cool. Reminds me of Alienation from Housemarque. I've never played that, so maybe I know Chris could probably.
I played it. Alienation was really dope.
I know what he's talking. Yeah.
Have you played it? Have you played Alienation? If you like the Ascent, you would definitely like Alienation.
I'm trying to think.
Because it's almost the same. It's almost the same type of game.
It's just a twin stick shooter, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I believe that's the one I played. I'm pretty positive.
Like that. Listen, as far as the Ascent, like, I haven't played it, but I looked into it and stuff like that. And if I had Game Pass and shit like that, I'd definitely download it and definitely try it for myself or whatever. As far as like the Metascore, I think that's Kid Smooth's fault because the Kid Smooth curse whenever he makes a statement that something's gonna happen. Usually the opposite happens. I think that's why the Ascent had to be sacrificed for that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
Because the day prior, Smooth was like, every Xbox exclusive from here on out until the end of the year
I remember
is gonna get an 85 and above.
You
The
shouldn't
next
have said
day
that.
happened, boom.
Yeah.
I'm like, slow.
So the thing about the Ascent is like, what like in terms of like I was at like a B plus, and I think what really knocked the score down for me wasn't really the game itself. Yeah, sure there was bugs, and most of the bugs that I experienced was associated with co-op. But then later on when I got to the end game, I noticed a lot of the bugs were impacting me as a game, and it was frustrating me. Like I'm sitting there tweeting, oh, I'm dropping this game, I'm never gonna finish it, because the type of bugs I was running into, I didn't think were possible. So right now, I am still dealing with a bug where I can't activate a side mission that takes me to a place called Scrapland. I can't get there. It's like the elevator doesn't work. But the weirdest part about it is I need to go to that location to beat the game, and I obviously beat the game. So to go back,
it's a game breaking bug.
It becomes a game.
It's not a game-breaking bug because he beat the game, but now he can't go back to that.
Now
I have to find another way back. There's another way I can go. I just literally forgot because the map can be a little bit cumbersome. I have to take a long way to get back to pretty much the beginning of the game and go through it that way. Because I forgot. Because when I got to the point to do the end game stuff, I didn't go that way. I discovered that way only when I went to attempt to do that side quest. I went a whole complete other way to get to where I need to. And it wasn't until I joined Ole Man Logan's game where I realized those places connect. I'm like, oh, I've been here several times already. Why can't I do the side quest?
I just sat there and I showed him. I was like, look, you go right here. And then we went into his game first. I was like, dude, there's supposed to be this elevator right here.
Yeah.
You can just go up and down it. He's like, not in my game. And then he joined my game. I was like, see, it's right here. He's like, I don't know why mine's not there.
Speaking of game breaking bugs, y'all said that's one of the game breaking bugs or whatever. RGT, you put out a video that says Skyward Sword has one of those, but I don't know what you. I haven't watched the video yet, but what part of what's the game breaking bug in Skyward Sword?
There's a puzzle in the Lanaru mining section where it's like you go into a room and the door closes behind you and you have to move a box in order to get up into a different area, but the box itself will get stuck and then you're just stuck in that room and you can't do anything.
Is it the first?
Go on.
No, I'm sorry. I was gonna say, is it like when you the first part of like the it's the mine, right? When you first, it's like when you first go to not your second return, but the first time you go to that. Okay.
First time.
I just beat that part. I literally just beat that part. So
yeah, I didn't have any problems with it, but I saw on Reddit where some guy, he made a video showing it, and I'm like, oh damn, because that reminds me of Skyward Sword on the Wii had a game-breaking bug where Nintendo couldn't patch the game, so they actually released a patch that you had to download as like almost a pseudo game on your Wii. It was really weird.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think they use that for speedruns. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Probably.
Sorry, Jay, I lost you.
What was that?
No, I thought you were saying something, but when I switched the camera, it did this little glitch.
Oh no, you're good. We're good. We were just talking about the game breaking bug that happened in Skyward Sword.
Yeah, no, I heard it. So because that wasn't the only bug I experienced with the side mission in the Ascent. The other bug which I thought was preventing me from beating the game was I get to now everybody knows with RPGs and games that have level based sort of AI that usually when you're following the main quest is usually the levels are within range of you. Usually either at the same height level as you or within 2 to 3 levels below you. That's how it usually works. But however, side quests, they have the right to go as high as the game goes. So it allows you, all right, this side quest is too high for me. I'm gonna leave it alone until I level up. However, main quest, it has to, in order for you to beat it in time, it has to stay within range. I get to the last mission and they're spawning level 30 characters. And it's either 10 level 30 grunts or 6 level 30 tanks. And I'm like, yo, this is impossible. There's no way they expect me to beat this at level 26. There's no way this is possible. So I'm playing. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to get the dying achievement. I'm pretty sure I'm close to dying over 100 times at this point. I died several times. I tweet about it. Ole Man Logan tells me he finishes the game. I'm like, how did you not experience this BS? And so he comes into the game and he sees where my AI is at. He's like, why are they at level 30? And I'm like, I don't know, but this is what I've been dealing with for like the last 24 hours. So we go.
And I was even at level 32, and I was sitting there like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah. So we take maybe 2 attempts at them being at the level 30, and then on our final attempt, it magically corrects himself, and they're finally at the respectable levels that they're supposed to be, and that's when we were able to get through the game. So had that not happened, I probably would have completely rage quit the game. But when we did finally beat the game, the audio crapped out, so I couldn't hear the climactic moments. So I was stuck to just reading dialogue and cutscenes. I'm like, they could be playing some epic music right now, and there could be some epic voice acting right now, and I can't hear it. So I literally gonna have to play with somebody else and hope to recapture that moment with somebody else. And so that's where the game lost points with me, is because I was like, dude, they have so much good going on it, but they have like these bugs that really should have been patched out or polished out. And so with this $5 million that they made or so, they hopefully hire some play testers.
I think there's a patch out today that they dropped. So over time, I'm pretty sure they'll fix those things and iron it out.
You said they dropped
especially
the patch
with the
today.
AI. The AI, sometimes they just spawn too many AI, and you're playing solo. And it's like, why? This doesn't make any sense.
But
well, like I forgot to mention before. There was I think the boss where you fight the spider.
Yes, that's like the first. Second.
It was like the first or like the second boss. And when I was like, okay, did the cutscene spider come out there? All the little spiders come out, and then next thing I know, I'm fighting 3 of them. There's 3 spiders, 3 big spiders, and 9 little spiders all over the map, and I'm just sitting there like, how am I supposed to I'm just one guy. Supposed to take on. I was just like, oh, I guess so. I'm sitting there trying to do it, trying to get all these spiders, and then obviously I failed. And then when I died and respawned, it was only it spawned and it was just 1.
Yeah,
it wasn't 3 spiders. So it was like the game was just like, hey, we're gonna spawn 3 spiders at you at this boss fight, and I was just like, what?
Yeah,
really?
I guess they didn't do enough testing on the procedural generation stuff, because there was supposed to only be 1 spider, because that spider itself is hard himself. Like he throws a bunch of exploding spiders. So when you say you had 3 of them, I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
I didn't even I wish it would have recorded it when it happened, because I just thought that was how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
I was like,
nah, dude, that's why you gotta have that Elgato plugged in, man.
Yeah, that
keep recording.
The 1 spider throws enough baby spiders to fill the map. So when you said you had 3 of them, I'm like, yo, that should have crashed the game. So but yeah, man, like I said, overall, even despite the bugs and whatnot, the game is great when it's working well. They have a good idea here, and they got something to go off. They have a base to go off. Congrats to them for making the money. They launched day 1 in Game Pass. They still managed to generate 5 million plus. So kudos to them for sure. But my Ascent gameplay, obviously, my time with the Ascent and my time with Flight Sim my time with Death's Door all got interrupted by the most anticipated game that's still my most anticipated, and that is the Halo Infinite Flight beta. Like, how many of us got in and then got to actually play it?
I got in.
I didn't get in. I was mad.
I was not one of the luckies.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, so
you didn't get in?
No, I didn't get in.
Well, I know you didn't get in. You didn't get in?
No, I didn't get in either.
The fuck?
They're saying RUT hasn't even played a single Halo campaign. What's up with that?
Okay,
so let's hear this.
Let me give my back history with Xbox. So I didn't own an Xbox until I was working at GameStop, and the 360 had just come out. And so I got one of those. I didn't have an original Xbox, but my manager there used to mod Xboxes. So I bought one for cheap from the store, and then he modded it for me, so I got to go back and play everything. But yeah, like Halos, I only ever got into the multiplayer. I started with Halo 2, and I would have to, because my original Xbox was hacked, I would have to go on Xlink Kai and like set up like, which was like another way to play Xbox games online without using Xbox Live. And so that's where I played all my Halo 2, but I would always just play the multiplayer. Like I played a little bit of the single player and I was just like, I don't really care about this. And then like all the other Halos I've played, but I never got into the single player stuff. Like it doesn't do anything for me. So that's why I'm excited for Halo Infinite, because it seems like, you know, the multiplayer is a very strong component of it. And, you know, the single player might be, you know, there's rumors that it could be a little bit delayed or something like that. And I'm just like, oh, I don't care. Just give me that multiplayer. I'm good.
I'm hoping that doesn't happen. I need that game to launch as a complete package so I can win my Game of the Year bet, because I feel like it's a wide open taking for Game of the Year.
This year isn't too strong with video game releases. I've always been invested in the complete Halo experience, like multiplayer campaign, custom games of Forge. Like the complete Halo experience is what made the game peak in the first place. Like the two games from the Halo franchise that peaked was 3 and Reach in terms of engagement from the community, because the campaign was good, the multiplayer was good, and then custom games was amazing. And you had Forge to inspire a lot of creativity from the community to make really good modes and maps inside custom games. So outside of playing PvP, you could just be like, you know what, we're going to chill on custom games and play like Jenga Tower or Trash Compactor on Halo 3. Something like that to have a really, really good time. So I think that's what they need to nail down on Halo Infinite, because the multiplayer is fine. I had a great time playing the Infinite Flight. I think it's way better than 5 and 4, because if you look at what 4 did, 4 took away from the traditional style of Halo in regards to map control, fighting for weapons, because you had custom classes. You spawned with a BR or AR or pistol instead of actually going to a part of the map, picking it up. Even something like power-ups, like you just called in the orbital drop inside Halo 4 and you got your power-up right there. So it didn't incentivize good gameplay how it did before with 3 and Reach and even 2. Yeah. And I think that Halo 5 brought that style back, and then Infinite made it even better.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Like I said, I didn't really appreciate. I wasn't the biggest fan of Halo 4 when it came out on the 360. Now I love the campaign. I felt like
the campaign's amazing in 4.
It was the best at that point. Best Halo experience I had at the time. I thought it was the best visually looking Halo. But the multiplayer, I didn't play too much on the 360. I didn't learn to appreciate Halo 4's multiplayer until Master Chief Collection came out. But then it was like I could see. All right, I was like, yeah, this was heavily inspired by Call of Duty, because it took the goal and objectives out of Halo, and you would be playing Halo 4 for skill base. All right, earn this. You pick your load out and you go in. Whereas classic Halo 3, it's like, all right, let's rush this. Let's seize this. Let's seize that, and let's see how everything turns out. But in terms of Halo Infinite, freaking multiplayer, it's like, I don't know. I felt exactly at home. I feel like with 343, and a lot of people discredit 343. I think 343 gets unfairly criticized a lot, and I feel like, bro, 343 is the only reason Halo is able to like adapt. Halo has only adapted and evolved under 343. People sit there and be like, oh, Bungie this, Bungie that, and the best, I feel like the only changes we got from Halo and its multiplayer components are from 343. Sure, they did a little bit too much with Halo 4, but when it came back to Halo 5, that was like up until now, was the best Halo multiplayer experience I had since Halo 3. Halo 5, it's like, even so now it's to the point I have to, when Halo Infinite comes out, I will have to uninstall Halo 5 and never play it again, because the changes they made, it's like, all right, I can get used to this, but it's equivalent to the changes they made from Halo 5 to the previous Halos. Like, it's like, for example, when we first played Halo 5, the first thing I did was like, let me go to Halo 3 controls. But I couldn't, because by going through Halo 3 controls, I could not master Halo 5's gameplay, because different button placements, the dash, the pounding and whatnot, the evadability and stuff like that were all mapped, and I think they were mapped perfectly for what they were trying to do. And same case scenario here. It was like, okay, all right, I can't do this. Let me go back. Let me go to Halo 5's control layout. I changed it, and I was like, all right, I'm familiar. However, these new additions now feel out of place. So I had to go back to the Infinite's default controls. And when you go back to Infinite's default controls, I feel like the button maps are like damn near perfect, because it's like now it makes sense. And when playing it, I was like, I feel right at home. I feel like what they found like a perfect balance. The subtle changes that they're doing, I can't wait to play to play more and see what else they add to it. But I've had like a great deal of time, and I started the first time when they announced like, oh, bots were going to be in the game for the test. I know it turned some people off and whatnot. And after a few updates, we've got to experience some of the smartest multiplayer bots I've ever seen, and it started to have me thinking. I'm like, okay, obviously it's going to be PvP when the real thing come out. What if they implement these fucking AIs in the campaign? That's going to be something crazy, because
Legendary is going to be pretty crazy.
Yes, because they were
smart. They were crouch shotting. They were doing all types of crazy shit. I'm like, okay, like this AI has been trained pretty well inside this game. I think the weapons are really nice as well. Like the pistol was good, but it's not like the Halo 5 pistol, where that game in particular, it was just pistol dominant.
Who do you
everyone used the pistol in Halo 5.
Good question for you, because I'm definitely a pistol abuser, but I abused the pistol in Halo 4 and 5, and I think I'm going to abuse it in Infinite. Which one so far do you think has the best pistol, of Halo 5 or Halo Infinite?
5.
5?
Yeah, because the reticle doesn't bloom. I think that's a good thing with Infinite, is that with 5 you can map someone with a pistol. That's ridiculous. But inside Infinite, if you're trying to map somebody, there's so much bloom that happens at a distance that you can't really stay on track like that. And that's where the commando and the BR comes into play, because they're trying to mix it up now. Like, hey, I don't think the BR was really relevant in Infinite, honestly, until they bought the Halo 2 BR inside that game, when they had like their anniversary playlist, which was pretty fun. But inside this game, the BR and the Commando are two really viable weapons and really fun to use, mid-range to far range, that they can compete with the pistol.
Yep.
Even like the assault rifle is a rifle in the Halo game so far. Like the AR up close and mid range is actually really, really viable now, and it feels good when using it. So I think that the weapons in this game, depending on where you're at in the map, is going to dictate what kind of style you're going to play. Unlike Halo 5, pistol, it doesn't matter where you're at.
What do you think of the inclusion of the grappling hook? I've seen people do some amazing things for it. And it's like
and it's like I said before, you have to fight for equipment on the map. You have to go for the grapple hook first. You have to go for power weapons and power-ups like active camo and overshield. Like, if you don't get these things, you at least have to communicate with your team to let them know, like, hey, this person has that, so be careful. So like the grappling hook, I'm glad that it's not a major thing in terms of spawning with it. You have to pick it up and you get like 2 or 3 tries with it in terms of navigating. Yeah, so I like that addition to the multiplayer as well, because you seen people grapple hook on that one map with the gravity hammer and just like kill 3 people at once. It's pretty fun.
I like that, the fact and that you can like pretty much grab weapons that are a distance away. Yeah, and it's shown up to be it's proven to be a very clutch ability, and I'm happy that it is a pickup that you have to get, and you get limited tries with it.
You can grapple onto another Spartan, like the enemy too. You can grapple towards him and run towards him, and it's crazy.
I've done it accidentally because I didn't know what animation was gonna pull off, so I done it, and then once I got close, I just did an immediate melee. But yeah, I'm enjoying, like, now RGT. I know you haven't gotten to the experience to play it, but I'm pretty sure you saw a ton of it. Other than people shooting watermelons, but what?
I'm so stupid.
What do you think so far of at least what you got to see?
I mean, I think it looks great, and everyone, because I know Spawn Wave and Dreamcast guy, they played it and they wouldn't shut up about it on Saturday. So yeah, I mean, I can't wait to play it. Like, I love what I saw from it. I love how a lot of people are saying it feels like Halo again.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely very excited to check it out. I think it looks really good. I thought it, the first trailer, the Craig trailer and all that, I definitely was very disappointed. But then that secondary trailer that they did at E3, it was like, okay, I'm back in this again. This is what I wanted to see. And I think the grappling hook, like you said, it's going to make the game feel very, still feel similar, but give you enough variation to where it feels like a proper, version of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other like low key, like kind of underrated change that they did, like, so the thing is, and this could be a bad or a good thing. The thing is, 343 seems very responsive to feedback. Like, if somebody doesn't like something, it seems like they will change it, and that could be to their detriment. So what they've done this time, for example, sprint, the natural speed of the game and the sprint, it's like a 2% difference. So you don't really even have to sprint in the game. It's like, for example, when they added, like, they were careful in Halo 5 when they did the aim down sights. They made it to the point where it's like, okay, you can use it or you don't have to use it, as it like we'll balance it out to the point where if you're an old school Halo player, you really don't need to use it. And if you are one of those new school players, like to call it aim down sights, use ADS and whatnot, it'll feel natural and comfortable, and then we'll add the feature to be shot out of it. So with the whole sprint thing, people didn't like the whole adding sprint into Halo 4 and Halo 5 was a thing, and dashing and stuff. So what they did was they either A, scaled back sprinting, or B, sped up the natural movement of the game to the point where it's not the a large difference between sprinting and non-sprinting. Jay, did you notice that?
Slightly. The biggest thing with sprinting, though, is that you get the slide animation as well. So if you need to get out of a jam, sprinting is the better option because you're not going to walk out of an engagement. There were situations where I would see like 4 enemies and they would just throw nothing but nades at me right away, and I'm like, oh, I gotta turn around, sprint, slide, get the hell out of there. So sprint still has a place, but if you're like someone like Black Bond and you constantly bitch about sprinting, then hey, you could play Master Chief Collection. There's games in there for you to play. That game's still very well and alive. I go back and play Halo 3 from time to time. I don't mind it. So it's all about adjusting it. If you're not going to adjust your gameplay to fit the style that game has, then don't play it. It's as simple as that. Another thing I want to see from Halo Infinite is a really good ranking system, because I thought Halo 3 and Halo Reach had the best ranking system. Yes, especially Reach. Reach ranking system, like when you seen somebody join the lobby and they were a noble or an inheritor, you're like, damn, like this guy played the game a lot. Like ranking in that game, even like you seen someone that was a general inside Halo 3, like, oh, this guy played the game a lot. That carries status within the game as well. So seeing that, as well as the thing I liked about Halo 5 a lot, and we played it, we had a session a while back, it was me, you, and NickBanks, when they did the Halo 1 anniversary playlist, when they brought back the Halo 1 pistol, stuff like that, like bring those game modes back as well, so you can have a bit of a mix, and then also have a playlist with community made Forge maps as well. So like you inspire creativity from the community, because I like Reach did that as well. Reach took some Forge maps that were made from the community, and they were sometimes added to the rotation.
Yeah. Halo 5 done that. I think Halo 5 was carried by Forge maps.
Yeah.
Because they didn't do many. I don't even know if they've done any map packs since release. So since release, and what they've been doing has been using Forge maps, adding them to the rotation and switching things up. But you're right about that. Question for you though, because one of the other changes that was done, because obviously they're doing away with the red and blue tradition. How do you how was that an adjustment for you? I know it's been an adjustment to everyone, of everyone having their own custom Spartan and not being associated by either red or blue. You can see so many different ones, and like, all right, is this my team? Is it not? Like, how was that? How of an adjustment was that to you? Halo, we're not used to that
because you have an outline. There's a white outline for your friendlies and a red outline for enemies. So it wasn't too difficult for me to situate. But I think in ranked playlists they'll have red versus blue, and in social playlists you can just do whatever with your customization and have your own Spartan, so that you can have a bit more personalization with your Spartan, and that's another thing as well. I don't want 343 to think that they have to solely rely on their battle pass to get additional content out there.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, like if you look at Halo Reach and you looked at Halo 3, they had some of the best customization and they had something to aspire to when it came to rank, as well as different armor builds. Like if you looked at Halo 3, they had the recon armor and the Hayabusa armor, which were two of the best armor sets in the game. And you had to do a lot of work to get the armor sets for both of those, right? So when you've seen somebody with the higher rank, as well as seeing a Hayabusa armor or a recon armor inside Halo 3, you're like, yo, this guy put in some work. He put in time. That carries status. So they need to have something like that inside Halo Infinite as well. Content to strive for and things that are aspirational within the game to incentivize players to go for it.
So one of the things that they announced during that E3 period when they showed off the multiplayer for like the first time in that hype trailer, one of the things that they announced was that players would be able to get different voice packs for the announcers, like, you know, double kill and all that stuff. So I got a question for you guys, each of you. If you had like a wish list, what voice do you wish you could add for your announcer in Halo Infinite? I'm gonna start with you, RGT. Is there a voice?
That Tim, I can't think of his last name. The guy from NBA Jam.
Oh yeah.
That would be awesome.
Wow. Okay, I would want. This should be easy. It shouldn't be too surprising. I would want Samuel L. Jackson, and it just. But they got to add him swearing when he says it. Motherfucking don't care.
I think the Killer Instinct one, the announcer for Killer Instinct would be a good one too.
Yeah.
The Ultra, the Ultra combo guy, that guy.
Yeah, that's dope. Yeah, that's actually probably a realistic possibility though. Logan, you got any voiceovers you would like to hear for your announcer, since they're going to be allowing custom announcers?
Just kind of remember back when Call of Duty Ghosts came out, and having Snoop Dogg as my announcer, because I picked that up. I'd like to have. I'd say Snoop Dogg.
You remember when he was in Call of Duty Ghost? They had the voice pack for him.
I just said that 30 seconds ago, Jay. What the hell, man?
I was
remember when he was in Two Crimes?
Dude, that was I just remember that. So you just said Snoop Dogg. I wasn't paying attention right there. But yeah, COD Ghost had him in there. I remember that.
But
he was my announcer for Call of Duty Ghosts, man. And that was the one great thing about that game.
Yeah.
Didn't you have to pay separately for that?
Yeah, they charge you separate.
It was like $250 or something like that. It was like
it wasn't too expensive. I had that, I had that on Ghost on Xbox One. If I had to choose a voice pack, it would be Mortal Kombat, because you got that grappling hook. You got, get over here. You just use that. Or
you said Ed Boon?
Ed Boon? Yeah, Ed Boon. Or you get like a triple kill or something. He's like toasty, like something like that. Some crazy shit.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah. Mortal Kombat had funny ass like announcement moments when something happens. Like
it's really great sidebar stuff that happens inside that game.
Yeah. So but Halo Infinite is shaping up to be a great, especially in the multiplayer thing. And for someone like RG2 who doesn't chime in, doesn't really delve into the campaigns, you can literally just get the multiplayer access. It's free. I mean, you don't have to commit to anything and be a part of the pretty much the moment there, which is cool. And there's always constant debate of because we still don't have a accurate release date for Halo Infinite. And there's constant debate that they should duck Call of Duty. They gotta be as far away from Battlefield 2042. And every time I think about it, it's like, okay, Battlefield's getting a lot of hype. But this is going to be a full price multiplayer only game. This Halo thing that we're playing is going to be free. And then remember, Battlefield has something to prove. The last two games didn't get off to the best start. I think a lot of people are now having that late appreciation because Call of Duty hasn't been as great. The whole thing with Activision and just a natural miss for Battlefield since they haven't been around over the last couple years. So I feel like Battlefield has a lot to prove, but like, how do you guys think Halo, a release date for Halo should be like? Should they be as calculated with Battlefield and with Call of Duty? RGT, you've seen a lot of this stuff happen.
It's tough because I feel like one of those games is going to have to be a sacrificial lamb. Because, you know, I mean, they are sort of different. You know, Halo is a futuristic thing. Call of Duty is more of a modern thing. Battlefield is more of like a huge team battle thing. But I still feel like one of the games is going to suffer. And I honestly don't feel like, no matter what, it's going to be Halo. I feel like Halo has enough hype going on with it. It's a big console exclusive for this holiday season, whereas, you know, PlayStation, it's not looking like they're going to have, you know, that big key killer game, whereas Xbox is going to be like, yo, new Halo. So I don't think they really need to worry too much. You know, I think there's a lot of hype, there's a lot of anticipation, and I think a lot of people are looking forward to the game regardless of what other first-person shooters are coming out around that time.
Gotcha.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, so like for me, like exactly, I don't think the release date's really going to matter. I just think there's a ton of people that are anticipating to play it and are excited to play it. And the thing about Halo is the thing that it has over the competition is it's free. It's free to get in no matter what platform you're on. If you're on PC, if you're on Xbox One, if you're on Series X, Series S, no matter what, it's going to be its own separate entity. So right there, you're just going to have an influx of people that's just going to be already interested in, you know, people have never maybe been interested in Halo, whatnot, because it just wasn't what their style of game that they're into. Well, guess what? I mean, if it's free, I mean, at least you can try it out, get a couple matches in. If you don't like it, whatever, no big deal. Go back to whatever else you're playing. I'm interested to see what Battlefield. I think you have two different kind of games here. Battlefield, big team battles, and big you know, maps, crazy, you know, hectic gameplay and stuff like that. And that's, I think Battlefield and Halo are catering to two completely different audiences. Where
they definitely
Halo's going to be more arena type, you know, fast paced, you know, get in, get out type matches. Obviously, I think they're still going to have some big team battles, but you're looking at what, 16 still versus over. What was Battlefield's cap now? 128.
128 players.
So you're
versus
looking
16.
at like. And then you look at that, like the fact that, you know, Halo's going to be more sci-fi, not super realistic, stuff like that, where Battlefield's going more modern, realistic type shooter. And I honestly don't believe Halo needs to worry about Call of Duty this year. I just don't think they do, because where Activision's at with how bad Cold War launched last year, I think Call of Duty is in the slums right now. I don't even think people are even excited about the next whatever Call of Duty comes out.
Plus all their PR issues now.
All their PR issues. That what was that Francis lady that got suspended from Twitter because of the rhetorics that she was going on her profile, and she's like one of the big heads at Activision, and you're looking at it's August.
Yeah,
we're 4 months away.
Announcement.
No announcement.
We're 4 months away. There's no announcement for any type of Call of Duty. Like, there's no teasers. All they've been doing is pushing Warzone still. And the state of where Warzone's at right now, everybody's leaving Warzone.
Yeah, it's infested with cheaters.
Infested with hackers.
Yeah,
It's not fun to play anymore. They haven't done enough stuff to refresh it. I mean, that game's been going on. This is its second year. It came out January or December of 2019, and so you're looking at it's 2 years in. They've only ever had other than the Rebirth Island map. They've only had one map, and that map has sustained changes to it, but it's still the same layout. It's still the same map. So they haven't done anything innovative to like having other maps in a game.
Yeah.
And I honestly think like if you look, a game like Splitgate has now kind of taken over. Like, I think they went from having like 400 or 4,000 like concurrent players to now they're over 200,000 concurrent players. And
that's huge. That's huge for a game like that.
I saw a lot of people go from playing Warzone constantly and posting Warzone content constantly to switching over to Splitgate, which is another free to play game that's other than servers aside, it's a very well done game.
I mean, look at the top streamers right now on Twitch. The traditional Warzone guys are playing Apex right now.
Yeah, you got everybody's switched away from Call of Duty, so I think for them to sit there and say, well, we're waiting to pull the trigger on our Halo release date for Call of Duty is just, honestly, it's pointless at this time. I think people are more excited to play Halo than they are Call of Duty. Like, it's just what I think it is.
Out of super chat.
And especially with it being free.
So with that being said, and I'm gonna get to this super chat, and I gotta give a couple shout outs. With that being said, like Call of Duty this is the first time since ever. 8 months into the year, there's no Call of Duty announcement, no release date, no nothing. Usually they have us $120 pre-orders on PlayStation and Xbox before you see a snippet of gameplay.
Well, I just remember like at E3s, dude, they would be like either when Sony was at E3 and when Xbox was,
they were headlining.
When Xbox had to deal with Call of Duty, like their show always opened with something Call of Duty. Like that was like their big thing because they had the marketing deals, they had the maps coming out 30 days early, and then you saw it switch to PlayStation where when PlayStation's conferences opened up, it was boom, Call of Duty was right there in your face, and to be like in August and have nothing on it, I'm curious to say that they're going to postpone it.
I'm pretty sure they have.
August,
do you think it releases this
something?
year?
No.
Like,
They have the game. So here's the thing about Activision.
But
Activision,
remember how you said it wasn't development hell? If it's let
me tell you this.
Okay.
All right. So Activision would do anything to get the game shipping every single year. They have to hit those release dates because they have expectations financially that they bank on a lot with Call of Duty. That's their $1 billion franchise right there. They need that game to drop. So like, even though they don't have an announcement right now, that's mainly because of everything that's happening with the multitude of lawsuits that's coming their way right now. If they make an announcement about the next Call of Duty game, it's not gonna seem right. It's gonna be a PR nightmare, and it's gonna make the actual people who are working there feel like, hey, they're not being heard. They still want to like get this game out the door. So there's that on Call of Duty. Plus, it's a World War II shooter, according to a lot of reports. So who really wants to play another World War II game where you got Battlefield, which is modern combat, and then you have Halo going back to its roots with Halo Infinite. And on top of the fact that you have Halo Infinite launching on the most platforms it's ever have with Xbox One, the series consoles, and PC all day one.
Yeah.
And then the multiplayer is free to play, so it's a low barrier of entry. Yeah. When you start adding all of that up, it's not shaping up well for Call of Duty. I'm pretty sure they have something for the game, and they want to ship the game. And the biggest thing that they do is, like, Cold War was all hands on deck. You had people from Infinity Ward, people from Treyarch, Sledgehammer Games, Raven Software, all come together to make that game. Yeah, they had everybody to come make that game because they scrapped the original idea last second.
All right, so let me give a couple quick shout outs to the people in the chat. Gaming with Persona, I see you. Thank you for showing up. Make sure you hit the like button. Lady Foxfire, shout out to you. I'm happy to see you in the chat as well. We also got Saltiest Gaming. Shout out to you for thanks for the tweet. Who else do we have here that I'm missing?
Yeah, a lot of people. Chris Alvarado, Bless Red.
Yes.
Yeah, the chat's active, man. You guys are active. Make sure you guys drop a like for sure.
Meds, aka Troubleshoot Gaming. Shout out to Meds. Good to see you. So I just wanted to give you guys. I usually shout you guys out at the beginning, but it's good to catch you guys while you guys are all here. So I definitely appreciate it. Super chat from Don Otaku. $2. He says COD is going to be World War II or Vietnam, so it's dead on arrival. And
I mean, it's probably not wrong.
Yeah, if it's like that, and then you sit here and you look at Battlefield and shit like that, like I don't know, I don't know. I can see them delaying this card because all the shit that's happening.
That's what I'm just saying. I do believe
but even
it's
so,
August because like usually around this time you're seeing marketing galore, and like energy drinks and Mountain Dew and Doritos. It gets like your double experience and all this stuff, and for it to be completely silent and they're not even like teasing.
Yeah,
they would do like, oh, here's the teaser trailer to the next Call of Duty, and then they would do the teaser trailer. Then they would do, oh, here's the gameplay or multiplayer gameplay reveal, and then they would tease that. And then they'd be like, oh, here's the campaign reveal, and like tease that, and they're silent. And it's August.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't. I mean, what are they gonna do? Ship a game out?
I'm just the
months?
game's not even up for pre-order. So that
Yeah, like it doesn't even like nobody knows. Like, yeah, we heard the rumor that was called, Call of Duty Vanguard, but I mean that's not anything official from Activision.
I wonder how much this impacts PlayStation. Because you got to think about it, PlayStation has.
They do got the marketing. Yeah.
They've been having the marketing and backing Call of Duty, and
I
Call of Duty
they
has.
I don't think they have the marketing anymore.
They lost the First they lost Destiny because Destiny withdrew from Activision, and then Bungie, kind of sided with Xbox for their not
their new marketing and Game Pass.
And Game Pass and stuff like
Game
that.
Pass, yeah.
Call of Duty acted for the last couple years as that buffer because PlayStation typically don't drop games in the fall, which we're used to. We're accustomed to them dropping games in this like the February, March, the April and June timeframe. They give you the first 2 quarters where they drop their bangers, and then they let whoever they are partnered with have like the holiday season. Is typically Call of Duty and like the likes of Destiny and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And when we got to think about it, they don't have anything coming like major outside of the some few re-releases that's coming up. They don't have a Call of Duty, and I'm sure it's still going to come out. But at the end of the day, it's like it may not hold the same weight as it has previously. So I'm just curious to see how they kind of maneuver around that without having their own first party major hit to throw in the holiday season, and without having the Call of Duty to lean on to help carry that. So I mean, obviously you guys can carry on that.
It's Sledgehammer Games though. Like for some of the people that's in the chat saying that people say COD is dead every year, we'll see. And then this other person said every year hoping that COD is dead, it will be fine. Yeah, there are definitely people who do that. We don't do that here at Planet Xbox. We don't say Call of Duty's dead every year. This year is just very, very different because of all the issues that they're having internally with the publisher. That's the biggest thing. And like I said, Sledgehammer Games is making the Call of Duty game. And how many of you guys like Sledgehammer Games? Did you like Call of Duty Advanced Warfare? Did you like Call of Duty World War II? And are you excited for this next Call of Duty?
I like the campaigns to those games. I like Sledgehammer's campaigns. I'll tell you that.
I would say, Advanced Warfare and World War II's campaigns were good. The multiplayers, they were
trash.
They were okay for like a month, and then it just, I don't know, the movements and stuff. I just wasn't. Into.
Honestly, I don't care.
Is a real
I don't care what they do. I don't play Call of Duty anymore, so I don't give a shit what if they come out, don't come out, if it's good or not.
It'll be different because it opens. If there's no Call of Duty this year, it's like, okay, who's gonna be that? It leaves room for other games to sell. And like I said, this is gonna be an interesting year for top sellers, player growth, and game of the year potential. I'm extremely curious. Shout out to Lady Foxfire again, $2 super chat. She says, "Not even my casual friends are getting COD. It's DOA."
And I don't know. I don't know if it's still up there. If you want to check Smooth, but and I don't know if Activision didn't announce it, but Diablo 3 is free.
Yes, or for games with gold.
But there was no official marketing or anything announced. It's just there. If you go to the Xbox store and go to Diablo 3, you can download the game for free.
Yeah.
So they're so they're not even advertising giving free games away right now. They're not even.
This guy said he likes Sledgehammer Games more than Treyarch. You gotta stop.
Why, dude? You on some? What drugs are you on? I need it.
I'm kidding, bro. I like Treyarch way better than Sledgehammer Games. I don't think Sledgehammer Games make good Call of Duty
I think they're
games.
good as a support studio to help out.
As a support studio, yes, definitely.
But to sit there and take the reins of the games, no. They just.
Did we lose Ole Man? Did he freeze?
No. I was just saying to take the reins.
Okay.
No, sorry. That was the end of my statement. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So another thing, a couple of things we can highlight, and we got pretty much one more topic after this, but there was a big commotion. Obviously, a lot of people have been putting on their ultra focus on level of detail recently. So
Fruitgate
is a thing.
Wait. I'm trying to make it trending. Fruitgate. Call it Fruitgate right now.
Fruitgate. so people are during the tech test, I don't know how many people did, but at least one dude decided to, shoot some like visual props because in Halo, and they compare it to other games that had other visual props that you can interact with, and this kind of like blew up, and this was used to kind of show how like not detailed Halo Infinite is during its technical beta. It's a lot of nonsense. A lot of people are running with it. I find it hysterical because I'm like, bro, who's shooting at barrels of fruits in the middle of a Slayer match? Like, I mean, I don't get it. Like, I mean, if developers want to put resources in those extra level of details and making sure fruit explodes accurately, fine. But the fact that this is coming up, especially during this tech test that we know has a date on it, on how old it is. I will say this before I let you guys give your piece on it. Halo and Gears are the only two franchises that still does real betas. They, like, when I say real betas, not a beta that comes out a month before the game release and there's no chance the game's release date is going to change or anything's going to change. These guys put out betas.
Not a marketing tool.
It's not a marketing beta. Every game, like for example, I remember Halo 3's beta the one that came with the Crackdown 1 game. It doesn't look that good, but just for it to be more complete in the actual game. I remember freaking Halo 5's beta. I remember the Halo 5 beta was the what's that mode? It was the
I know what you're talking about.
Damn, it was the colorful mode. It was like the stage was very empty, and it was a quick encounter mode that they had. But the visuals wasn't that up to par. It didn't look that great. People talked about it in the Facebook groups and YouTube. Just for when the final game comes out, oh, this looks very impressive. It performs very impressive. Gears 4, when that beta came out, first thing people were, oh, this game doesn't look that good. It doesn't perform that well. Just for when the game comes out, it to be, oh, okay, that's okay. This is good. We can't hate on this. Same thing with Gears 5. People said it is like you guys keep falling for the same trap. They are actually doing betas for these particular games. So by the time the real game comes, the shit that you were talking during the beta is going to be irrelevant. So the fact that they're, going in with these scientific calculators and these extra zooms and doing all these stupid tests that the game's not being meant for, instead of just testing your guns out on the AI and making sure the game's not crashing, you're shooting fruit and looking at fucking to see if rocks are there or birds are there. The game's going to be better. The final game is going to be better. When it comes to beta testing, I trust 343 and the coalition more than I trust any other developer putting out a game that's going to give me a beta before the game comes out. I bet that Halo's pretty much beta, or the final game of Halo's game versus beta will be more impressive than Back 4 Blood's beta, than its final game, and Battlefield 2042's beta versus its final game. I guarantee you that right now. But anybody got any thoughts on?
Yeah. As far as that, it's funny because Smooth, you say it's nonsense, but you know this happens all the time. Of course, people are gonna always test the game, shoot things up to see how things work or whatever. But all the time on PlayStation side, right? Like Miles Morales, people were going in there, taking screenshots of the ray trace reflection and then circling things that is missing details and stuff like that. Remember the stuff with like the puddle gates? The same thing would happen with Ratchet and Clank when they said the leaves wasn't moving because of stuff like that. You didn't have an issue with anybody saying that, so it's kind of funny that when people do it to Halo or an Xbox game, all of a sudden it's nonsense and stuff like that. So to me, if you have a problem with people saying, because it's just as ridiculous. Like me personally, I don't care how it looks or whatever. Like I'm not even going to play the game, so it doesn't bother me at all. But it's just kind of funny how people are complaining about. Some people are complaining about people complaining about like the physics and the lack of attention to details, but they stay quiet when it happens to these other games as well, just because their biasness or whatever. But
Okay,
So
fair enough. Fair
I
enough.
just like if you didn't have a problem before with that, you expect this, especially in this day and age where people are ridiculous with the console wars. It's like a nonstop. It's like a nonstop bickering back and forth of just over the stupidest things, right? It's like ever since quarantine happened and stuff like that. This is people have been bitching and complaining more and more about the stupidest things. I've noticed that. I don't know if y'all noticed that.
Yeah.
Well, they got more time.
Yeah.
They're just sitting
Got
around.
more
They're just
time
sitting
to do that,
around.
man.
But Chris,
I don't even engage in that stuff on Twitter anymore, man.
Chris,
I just
there's
post my posts and that's it.
there's a couple things working in my favor of why I don't, have a problem with it when it comes to Spider-Man and The Last of Us. Because a couple things. One, Halo is a tech test. They're not even calling it a beta. It's a tech test. So anything that's wrong with the game at this point doesn't really matter in a grand scheme of things because we got to judge the final product.
Maybe early footage with those other games though.
No,
Sometimes
but
footage
Spider-Man Puddlegate happened. They were comparing retail version versus E3 version. That was and things with like The Last of Us and stuff. It was things that you
for sure, and I don't have an issue with that. But that's the thing. Like, of course, people are gonna do that. But to me, if you don't really care, then so what? Like, fuck.
No, I personally don't care, but it's just like I care. How can I say this? I can't say I don't care because I obviously care because I'm reacting to it. But it's like personally, it doesn't matter to me. Like somebody replied to the comment like. Microsoft need to do better. They gotta go and fix this, but they were serious about it. I was like, you really want them to put time and resource to make sure a grape fucking explodes properly? I'm like, no, I'm sorry. No, I was like, if this was Fruit Ninja 2, sure. But no, I'm not. You're not meant to freaking interact with those items. They're just visual props, and like I don't know.
It's just a typical thing that they do on social media, sensationalize it. I didn't comment. I seen it. I just laughed because I was like, this is fucking pathetic. Honestly, like you literally got into the flight.
Yeah.
Just to point this out, like why you're a waste. You're a waste. Here like
there's these motherfuckers out there that's just sitting there analyzing these bananas and these melons and shit, and are trying to shit post on Twitter. And me over here, like I want to play Halo. I don't get no invite. But these motherfuckers is over here wanting to zoom in on every crevice of a banana and sit there like, this don't look realistic.
I agree with you, Chris. Like people did the same thing with Spider-Man. I'm sitting here like, what? Like these reflections look fine to me, but like, what? Like I don't know. I get so puzzled with it because it's always the little things that get blown up for no reason whatsoever. Yeah. I'm like, all right, cool. Like you guys got it. Do your thing. If you want to troll about that, go right ahead. But at the end of the day, I'm still gonna have fun playing the game, and I'm gonna still stream it and post my gameplays. And yeah, if I see them in the lobby, they getting wrecked because you're gonna be the person looking at the fruits, trying to shoot at it, and boom, I'm just gonna assassinate you.
Oh yeah. Shout out to Brain Cells on
there's
Fire.
no assassinations in the game now, though.
Not yet.
Not at launch. Yeah.
Shout out to Brain Cells on Fire. He says for $5, Metacritic missed the mark on the Ascent. That's a really great game. Yeah, they missed the mark. I mean, I said it could be, and it should have been like more so 70s versus 60s, but
it was mainly that Metro Red site because they give it like a 3 out of 10. That's what really dropped it that low. Yeah. If it didn't have that, it'll probably be maybe like a 70, 71 on the Series X.
Yeah,
maybe.
Shout out to Merc 305, legendary Planet Xbox member. He says Halo is back. Yeah, we definitely gonna get it in. Flaffy 1101 says same Xbots who made fun of Spider-Man ray trace reflections.
They did. I'm not gonna lie to you. They did.
Hey, I made fun of it too.
No cap. No cap. No cap. They did.
It just goes back and forth, so you can't get mad at when people do it back.
Yeah, but
you can do it. Like it's all fun in games. Like I don't have an issue with it. But
the one game I had to do it to was Returnal though. That reflection looked trash. Oh my god.
Yo, Returnal's my game of the year.
I'm just gonna say dude.
That reflection was bad.
It's not even the reflection. My thing with the Returnal was her in-game face.
Yeah. She smoked a pack a day, bro.
It looks terrible.
Hey,
don't get me wrong. Returnal's a beautiful game, dude. It runs well.
Oh yeah.
I love the colors and stuff like that. But what the fuck is up with her in-game face?
Her in-game face.
I don't know.
And people do it back to Halo. People do it back. That's what I'm saying.
All I'm saying is
back and forth.
That wasn't no beta though.
Chris,
that was in
Chris,
the game.
I want you to tell me that her in-game face looks good.
Bro, not like it's not the best looking, but even for that, like, I only look at her in-game voice for like her in-game face for like 3 seconds. The rest of the time, I'm just shooting and dodging shit.
Yeah, the game was meant for you to look at her back. You know what I mean? Her back, her back, and her flat ass.
But like that's the thing I didn't get. Like her like CG like scenes and stuff like that were like phenomenal. Like looked great, and then you got this. So just look at the in-game face, and it's just like, where did you drop the ball at?
Yo.
Like you could have put like $5 more into the like her.
You said
her
$5? You were like $5,000 into her.
Like, I'm just like,
they don't have any issues with
but the thing is, it didn't blow up. Hold on. It did not blow up to the level that Craig did. Craig is an NPC that you were supposed to just kill and go to the next one. Like,
if they don't make it way bigger than Returnal.
You know, okay. So this is the one thing I like about Xbox. They're gonna make fun of Craig in Halo Infinite. Yeah. There is going to be an Easter egg somewhere that guy is just chilling and like sipping coffee or something, and his name's going to be Craig. Poster. You know they're going to have some type of Easter egg with him in it because they take the stuff and they roll with the punches and they make it fun and stuff. And
they should. It would be disappointing if they didn't.
Yeah, it would be disappointing if they didn't. So like that's why
Sorry,
that's why I'm excited to see what they do.
Returnal face is bad.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but she's like all emotionless.
I'm sorry. Like I said, Returnal, beautiful game.
Yeah,
but just that.
Yeah. It's but shout out to PlayStation. Hey, it might get some Game of the Year nods in this light year, but if that's going to be a Game of the Year contender, I know Halo Infinite and Psychonauts 2 will be, and I got a high chance of winning that. So.
I mean, I think y'all still sleeping on games like. Yeah, see, we got the Nintendo guy here, man. Y'all sleeping on like Metroid Dread or
Monster Hunter Rise.
RGT. All right. RGT, what is
what Megami Tensei 5, bro? Come on.
What's realistically winning Game of the Year or has a shot? Released or not released? You played it. Obviously, Nintendo is always in the conversation each year with this. So I actually acknowledge. What the fuck? I can't even think. Put me on game.
You got Resident Evil Village.
Yeah.
You know, you got to talk about Monster Hunter Rise, I feel. Monster Hunter Rise is probably one of the most impressive top to bottom Nintendo Switch games. Metroid Dread, can you really, will people want to say a 2D Metroidvania game is a Game of the Year contender? I don't know. It could be. Halo Infinite's going to be in the discussion more than likely. But it is definitely sort of a light year. A lot of people expected Horizon Forbidden West to be in that conversation. Doesn't look like they're going to be in that conversation.
No, that's a delay.
I think Ratchet should get some nominations. I enjoyed my time with that game.
I like that game a lot, yeah.
Very, very pretty, pretty looking game. But it is definitely a light year. And unless there's some sort of surprises that come out between now and the end of the year, I think we pretty much have a good look at what to consider for that category.
You know what game I think I think it's gonna be fire, but probably won't get a Game of the Year nomination? Tales of Arise. That game looks fun, dude.
Yeah, that's gonna be really good. That's definitely gonna be like in the 80s, like as far as Metacritic, I can see that. And that's what I'm saying. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to Lost Judgment. I'm looking forward to that. So to me, like as a PlayStation user, like there's no lack of new content at all for me this holiday. It's just like, from first party, there's nothing first party, but I mean, this is gonna happen. This happens to every company. Sometimes they got some dry spells, right? Sometimes they got light holidays and shit. You know
what you just did?
What happened?
Something I was doing all last year. You said you don't feel a dry spell. You don't feel like you're missing anything, right? With PlayStation not putting out any first party content, or
as far as gaming content, like as far as PlayStation, hell yeah, I'm missing. I wanted Horizon Forbidden West. I wanted that shit to drop. So from that perspective, it's disappointing that there if a big game like that I was anticipating, Horizon Forbidden West is, and then I gotta wait till next year to get like the good PlayStation games that are coming out. That's just like from that side, yeah. But as far as like me, like as a gamer overall, like I'm gonna be playing the Switch. I'm gonna be going back and forth between PlayStation, third-party games and shit like that. Like I said, me as a gamer, I'm never out of like content. I'm always finding something to play.
The roles are reverse smooth.
Yeah, I'm about to say because I was like, yo, I don't feel like I'm missing
because
anything.
You were making an excuse why it was okay.
Because I didn't feel like I was missing anything. I was like, I had content to play. Like when like for real, like when PlayStation.
How the tables have turned.
I felt like I had content. It wasn't an exclusive for me, but I was like, I had shit to play. So like, I don't know, man. And now the crazy thing is, when y'all was getting games, I was hyping up FPS boost to old games, right? And y'all gotta be about that. The Xbox is getting games. They hyping up re-releases that came out on PlayStation last year. I mean, I'm just saying, it's a complete reversal.
Nah, it reversed for me.
Nah, man. Nah. These dudes are getting Ghost of Tsushima. Yo, Ghost is crazy. All right, so the PS5 update, you got to buy the DLC with it, and now they're taking the multiplayer and charge you $20 for the standalone if you didn't buy the base game. Yo, let's talk about that nickel and diming. And now you're getting Death Stranding again?
Bro, if you buy the game, you get the multiplayer. They're just doing it as standalone, just like Grand Theft Auto there and stuff.
Like what? Like,
I don't see that. What's the big deal? I don't see the issue.
Let me.
I'm gonna let it go. Let me
get this super.
I don't see an issue too.
Let me get this super chat. Shout out to Don Otaku, and like I said, we're gonna smash out these last two topics and make sure everybody gets out on time. Shout out to Don Otaku for the $5. He said Halo Infinite, Psychonauts 2, It Takes Two, Resident Evil Village, Ratchet and Clank, Infinite. What I think he said that twice. And Shin Megami, I can't say this shit. Shin Megami Tensei 5 or Hitman 3 are my predictions. Okay.
I don't see Hitman 3 being there.
All right, so PlayStation has finally getting they got two long-awaited updates. Rumored to get VRR in December. I know people are happy, even though they, shitted on VRR for all year, and now, it's
a lot of people don't even have VRR. That's such like less than 1%.
I don't want to hear it.
It's still something that you would rather have it there than not have it though.
No, because not only
it's a cool tech.
Not only is PlayStation getting updated with it, but the Sony's TVs are finally getting it. So now more people will have it by default if they have Sony TVs. So I remember when the PS5 came out, first thing people did was buy the TVs that they thought would have VRR from Sony. And now they're fine. So that's rumored to happen in December. We'll see, what the
you know why? Because they said that they're waiting for there's supposed to be some type of new standard, new certification with this new VRR. That's why Sony didn't put out, because they would have put out VRR for PS5 now and then had to get, I guess, recertified or whatever it is, right? With that new VRR tech that's coming out. That's why they waited to then push it now to when it comes out in the holidays.
Yeah. So. And the biggest update is that SSD. Don't mess with me. The SSD, the expansion is finally being used, and they are already it's in beta, and people are getting their hands on the SSDs and those third-party SSDs. Some of the concerns were that some of them obviously may not work. Heatsink being a thing. Sony put out a detailed kind of report on what to use, and they kind of put out their own disclaimer, for protection, just in case people break their PlayStation 5. But it looks like, things are looking bright. The SSDs are out. The prices are there. People have alternative options to choose from. Anything, RGT, do you have any thoughts on this? Because I know this was a heavy talking point for quite a while.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't. It's not the most difficult thing in the world, like some people are making it out to be, but there's a lot of stupid people in the world as well. Yeah. So I could see this, being sort of a big problem. I'm of the mindset where, I will just delete games. I have no interest in spending,
me too.
Big bucks on a few teraflops of extra space. It's like, well, I mean, I could buy games with that money. Why would I bother with it? So yeah, it's not for me. I have no interest in it, but I'm sure the tests that come out from it will be very interesting, because I think a lot of people are going to essentially mess up their systems, potentially on purpose, just to get some fucking views.
Yeah. I think some people are overblowing this shit. It's not hard to change it out. It's actually easier than the PS4 and the PS3 was, right? And then, like, I see a lot of people, they always come up with this argument, well, but what about the soccer moms? And what about Betty Sue, who's not going to know? First of all, I get tired of this whole fake concerns about, like, these other people that doesn't really affect you. Like, you know what you're going to buy. You know what you're going to get into.
Exactly.
So why does a soccer mom not knowing what the fuck she's going to get into concern you? Yeah. But and then another thing is, like, a lot of people assume that, like, the masses are stupid. Now, don't get me wrong. There is dumb people out there. There's people, they don't know how to change a light bulb and stuff like that. But I don't really think, like, a lot of people are that stupid enough to, like, not do their own research or whatever. And plus, compared to these pricings, I don't see a lot of casuals adopting these pricings of these SSDs. Some of these are expensive, like, right away. Like, a mom would tell their kids, like, yo, just start deleting this shit. Like, that's how I feel. Like,
they're mainly for the PC market, but they're going to be advertised to work on PS5 as well. And over time, they're going to get cheaper. That's the most consumer friendly thing about it.
We're already finding shit that's cheaper, shit that's like you can get for like 200 gigabytes and shit like that, or 230 with the heat sinks and shit like that. And plus, as far as like how will we know which SSD is going to be? This is in beta, so I'm pretty sure by the time it comes out of beta and they unlock it to everybody, because I'm not in the beta, so it's not unlocked on my PlayStation 5. I'm pretty sure they're going to compile a list. And plus, even so, a lot of these third-party companies who are making these SSDs, they're going to want to make sure that they tell you, hey, this one works for the PS5 and you have everything you need for this. So if anybody who's not really too sure about it, they can go on Amazon, type PlayStation 5 SSD, and I'm pretty sure a whole bunch of lists is going to come down of which one is compatible. Yeah. I think the people who are going to adopt this is going to be more the hardcore at first. And then over time, when it gets cheaper, more people are going to, because how many people change their internal PlayStation 4? Like, how many casuals did that? I don't really think a whole lot. So honestly, I think this is kind of like the Screwgate, like with the whole, everybody made a big deal about the screw. It's really not going to affect, a lot of people and shit like that. As far as like the SSD's disclaimer, I think Sony said that, like, if you put in the SSD and it don't work, if it's a third party, like, they're not responsible for that SSD not working. Because obviously, if I get a Madcast controller and it doesn't work, I'm not gonna go to Sony. I'm gonna go to Madcast or whatever. So that's something. But honestly, I think it's gonna be, as far as like people knowing which one is gonna get, I think it's gonna be a lot easier than what people make it out to be. Of course, there's gonna be some stupid people, but hey, that's life. You learn your lessons. You make a mistake. You learn from it. Get a refund or whatever. Then don't do it again. I don't think it's that big of a deal. That's it.
Obviously, and there's always the argument that keeps coming back around. Whose method was better? Is it the third? Is
the proprietary
or the open source method? Right now, both options are fairly expensive. The thing I do appreciate about the Xbox version, it was available immediately. It works. It's simple, and I think their deal with Seagate was like a year. So eventually, Samsung and all these other people are going to come into the picture and make their own versions, and that already has been discounted a couple times. I've seen it on sale for $180 already. So it's like people keep talking about. Oh, we're gonna be stuck paying $220 for it. It's like that's not actually the case, but it's cool to finally see it happen. I'm not sure if I'll ever add an SSD to my PS5. I'm just not.
You just delete the game
and do it. I've never added like a hard drive to my PS4 Pro or anything, or like I've left everything as stock. Like,
I'm still working with a 32. Like, I haven't even got a SD card for the Switch. Like, it's because I just play the game and then I just delete it. And plus, those games don't even like. So to me, it's like if I get one, it's gonna be like later on when I can get like a terabyte for like $80 or $100 or some shit like that. Like that's like much later on maybe. But as far as right now, I usually delete my. Like, it's never been an issue. Extra storage never really been an issue for me because I just delete my games. Like. After I beat them, finish them, complete or platinum, whatever, if I don't feel like going, back to it for a very long time. So I don't know, but hey, it's there now. The beta's there, and hopefully, hopefully there's not too many issues and whatnot. I don't really think there's going to be that very many issues, but we'll see. Could be.
Yeah. I think for me, like my solution for PS5 has been, hey, I have an external SSD in an enclosure. I store my PS4 games on there to run, and I save the internal space for PS5 games. And that's it. It's been working for me. Will I put an SSD inside the system, a Gen 4 one? Probably not. I'd rather put one inside my PC first before a PS5.
Yeah, as far as what you said, Smooth, I think like having the options to like get third parties and you can pick which ones, so there's like competitive pricings and stuff like that. And plus, you can get faster SSD. See, with the Xbox, you're stuck with like the proprietary, and that one is more convenient. Yeah, obviously, right? Because you just plug and play. That one is definitely more convenient than just the solution for PlayStation 5. But the fact that I can get a SSD, potentially later down the line, that's even faster, so I can get even faster load times. And have options.
But wasn't there a disclaimer on PlayStation that said regardless of it may not even match if it's not like it's like sure you can get faster ones, but how in real life is it really going to work? Is it really going to be faster? I mean, the console itself could bottleneck it.
Theoretically, I mean, but we'll see. I mean, but it's the same. But it's the same thing with PC. If you get a faster one, but don't change any internal parts,
Yeah. So we'll see. Hopefully, the beta test goes out, and then they'll finally get that list to us of which ones are compatible. And hopefully Microsoft's options that the third parties come in and make their versions to see how the market looks like for both of them. But at the end of the day, I'm good with either. Final topic. I know a lot of people have seemed to get a sigh of relief on some of the comments made regarding Xbox Game Pass. Last week it was Sean Layden and his thoughts on gaming subscription, and then recently Take-Two said that their stance hasn't changed on Game Pass, and obviously Take-Two, just to give you guys hindsight, their revenue is based off unit sales. They have one of the top selling games for like damn near 10 consecutive years. So they still sell games the old fashioned way. And I'm not saying that they're damage controlling or they're wrong, but I understand where they're coming from, because the way that they get their money from games is by selling you. There's not via subscriptions. They sell you the game, and then they sell you a whole bunch of MTXs with that game, so much so that people bought multiple copies of the game to take advantage of the MTXs. But a lot of people took that as their vindication of Game Pass won't work, or it doesn't work, or it's like the response to that guy. It's like people are like, it's just always been this often thing that people, when it comes to Game Pass, it's like people, their take is like you either are for it or you're against it, and the people that are against it was like there was this problem with Game Pass, whether like it's something that they're afraid of what it's going to do to gaming, but there was this, seemed like there's this stigma of like, I do not want this thing to be successful, and that anything associated with Game Pass is looked at in a negative light. So the games that go into Game Pass, their meta scores are scrutinized. Like obviously what we saw with freaking the Ascent, Game Pass fodder, but they completely ignore freaking Flight Sim and OMNO. Omno, that game, slow key, but it's pretty good. But so my thing is like, anybody have like thoughts on Game Pass and the perception? Because it's like I said, it's always become a topic. And there's obviously there's people that cap for the service. I'm a heavy capper for the service, and then there's people that are like completely against the service, and they are adamant, and when they speak of it and speak about it, and they're always looking for sources that validate their argument against Game Pass. Any thoughts?
I mean, I just think it's weird that he says that, but they have their games on these streaming services. Mm-hmm. So you would think if you're so anti like Game Pass or whatever, like you wouldn't have your stuff on there. I mean,
he's not anti Game Pass.
He's not anti Game Pass or what?
No, he said that we think a subscription model can make sense for a deep catalog of titles, but it doesn't make sense for frontline titles.
Big AAA, big budget games is pretty much what they're saying.
They will never launch their game in the Game Pass.
So they would put them on the service.
Yeah.
Because I know Red Dead was on Game Pass. I know GTA was on Game Pass.
Red Dead Redemption 2 has been on Game Pass, and the multiplayer has been on Game Pass.
So later on down the line. Okay. Yeah,
I didn't know he was talking about day one. I just thought it was in general.
GTA,
I know
GTA has
I
been on
I know
the service
GTA
twice.
5 is leaving Game Pass.
It's
soon.
been on the service twice since its inception. Just to give you a heads
Yeah,
up.
it's everywhere,
Okay.
bro. Yeah.
Never mind. I'm gonna nix whatever I was gonna say because I thought it was just you didn't like him in general.
Which GTA 5 sold like 150 million. They just announced, which is fucking great. Who the hell is still buying GTA 5?
That's what I want to know. I think everybody has a copy of GTA 5 in their household. I just
Yeah.
at that number, yes.
Your thoughts, RGT? I don't know if you bought into the Game Pass.
Oh, no, I'm a big fan of Game Pass as a consumer. I've definitely, over the course of Game Pass being a thing, I've had doubts about it being a monetary success. But I think that at this point you have to think that someone is doing well enough on this to where it's becoming a value to keep pushing it, to keep prioritizing it, to keep putting big games on there. Now, I think some third-party companies aren't going to get on board with that, and that's fine. You know, a lot of third-party companies had their own little services, you know, that are starting to dwindle out. But, you know, a company like Take-Two, you know, their bread and butter is selling their games and essentially reselling their games. Like they've been
full
doing
price.
like with GTA 5. And I mean, you know, Nintendo will probably never adopt this model, but Sony obviously pays attention to it because they, you know, their PlayStation Plus offerings, not nearly on the level of Game Pass, but they do offer, you know, some free games. You got a lot of PlayStation 4 stuff that you could play on there, but I think it's an interesting business model. I think it's going to expand once those Bethesda games start releasing and those Bethesda games are on the service on day one, because I mean, I think the Xbox, and the one thing you have to say about the Xbox brand is, whether you love Sony, whether you hate Sony, whether you love Xbox or whether you hate Xbox, they've been very clear since pretty much day one that they unveiled the Series X of what they're doing, what their game plan is. And initially, I was not a fan of it. I didn't like the whole bringing along the Xbox One system, you know, still supporting that. And then you had PlayStation come out and pretty much do the polar opposite of what Xbox was doing, which sounded great on paper, but the execution of it has been anything but. Everything has just been, you know, oh, well, this is only going to be possible through the power of the PlayStation 5, but now Gran Turismo 7 is coming to the PlayStation 4, Horizon Forbidden West is coming to the PlayStation 4, and it does kind of seem like God of War Ragnarok, depending on when that game releases, will come out on the on the PlayStation 4 as well. So to sort of bring it all back, I mean, Xbox has been very clear. These are the games that you're going to be playing. These games will be available on Game Pass on day one. We hope you support Game Pass. And I think now they're starting to see the fruits of their labor because, you know, you're getting into where, and yes, and the stigma about a Game Pass game. It's something that I've joked about and something I've used in context because we haven't gotten to the point of where the big games are going to release. Once those big games start hitting, those Halo Infinites, those potential Elder Scrolls, the Starfields and things like that, then your narrative's going to be completely gone.
You talking about the Game Pass fodder games?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I so based on what Take-Two Interactive was talking about, like they talked about, like we're not going to launch our game into Game Pass. A lot of that has to do with what Blessed Red said in the chat about game budgets. Game budgets are increasing gen over gen. So the cost of making games are more and more as these games become much more bigger. These development studios are becoming much more bigger as well. I mean, look at something like Red Dead 2, for example. Red Dead 2 had like 10 horse artists. 10 people working on just making horses. It's insane, right? So they're trying to make these games bigger and better and capture much more realistic detail and attention to detail with these games, as well as innovating on existing systems that they have, as well as testing out new systems within these games. So that costs a lot of money. These games are reaching movie level budgets, right? When you really think about it,
some
of them even exceed it, right? And they need to make a return on investment. That's why you're even seeing $70 games, because if you look at the cost of making games versus inflation, they're barely breaking even on some of these games most of the time.
Yeah.
And Sony's starting to realize that as well. It's like, hey, like, is this going to be very sustainable over time? Constantly saying, hey, the majority of our studios have to make a AAA banger, and there are 150 million, 200 million dollars being pumped into the game just for it to break even. So that's the big thing to look at.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, my thoughts on Game Pass hasn't really changed. I'm like I said, Microsoft is behind it. We know where they stand financially, so they can really afford to do anything they want with the service. So I'm not worried about it being a stigma for like arcade games in the service. We already know what Halo is. We already know what Forza Horizon is. We know Starfield is next year, day one, which goes completely against the perceived Game Pass model. So, and I think we're headed into a time now, and like I said, it started this year where this rotation of games is just going to come, and it's not going to stop. But I just never understood the infatuation with like this wanting the Game Pass not to be like successful, and the highlights of like the negativities and stuff. Like, it's like I never understood why people like, for me as a gamer, Game Pass is it. I don't know where it hurts, but I don't mind not having to buy a game. Like I said, what Game Pass did, what it brings me to is like, yeah, back when buying games was the only option, what did I used to do? I would buy a game, play it, and then I hold on to that game until the next game I want was available. Then I bring it to GameStop, get raped, and then borrow some money and use the credits I got from my game that I just traded in and put it towards the next game that I want.
When I was a kid, we had Blockbuster on Hollywood Video, baby. That was our Game Pass back in the day.
Yeah, so but yeah, no, Game Pass is like, I've played a ton of games out of Game Pass, and every game that I beat in a Game Pass service, to me, I just count how much money I saved, because I was like, once I like, sure, I could buy this game if I really like. So the games I'm actually going to buy for sure, Forza Horizon, because they have an expiration date. They shelf life is short because they get delisted after 3 or 4 years. So I have to buy Forza Horizon. Halo, I own every copy of Halo, but there's games like I was gonna legit buy a game like Outriders. I mean, I have no need to. I think I got 11 days in that game. I beat it, did everything I want to do in that game. I was like, I have no reason to buy it. I did it all in the Game Pass service, and I don't mind. And I know there's this stigma with people, like, obviously people who like want to feel righteous for, no pun, Chris, to feel about, because they're buying their game and owning the game. And it's like, okay, I own a lot of games. I own over 500 games digitally, but once I play that game, beat that game, what else am I gonna do? It's just gonna sit in the thin air. At that point, it's just there for me to have. Yeah, I can play it anytime I want, but what are the chances of me actually doing that? If I could trade in digital games, I would. So, but yeah. That's just my a take on that. Anyone else, or did everybody give their thoughts?
I'll get my thoughts. Yeah.
All right, I just want to make sure
I didn't really have any
overdo anything.
I mean, he's pretty much saying what like all these other execs are saying when it comes to big AAA games.
Yeah,
he's pretty much, he's not the only one. Him said it. I think Jim Ryan said that before. Sean Layden said it. I think that Joseph, the guy who made It Takes Two and Way Out, what's his name? Joseph Ferris, or some shit like that.
And the crazy thing,
he said something along those lines as well in regards to Game Pass. Yeah,
he did. And the crazy thing is, his games are probably best suited for Game Pass. But the thing is that, yeah, there's going to be a handful of people that feel one way, and then you're going to get the opposite, because Game Pass is getting bigger games. Square Enix bought into it.
Back for Blood is launching into it.
Back for Blood. Obviously, we got MLB The Show that bought into the service, and obviously EA's backing it. Ubisoft is rumored to back it next. So we're just I'm just curious to see how everything goes. But I've enjoyed Game Pass. I think this year has been the best year for Game Pass, at least for me. Game Pass didn't catch on with, even though I've been a part of the Game Pass in the early days, I wasn't really playing games out of the service, because obviously the early titles were a bunch of titles that I either owned or beaten in the past. But when 2019, 2020 came around, 2021, where it's like, okay, and they started to get these new games to launch day and date, it started to really show its true value. And believe it or not, it created more money for me to actually buy these expensive ass games on PlayStation. So it's just to give you a heads up there. But man, I want to say thank you to everyone who tuned in today. It was a great episode. Big major shout outs to RGT85. Thank you for coming through and blessing this episode of Planet Xbox. Clutch timing for sure.
Thank you for having me on, man. I appreciate it. It was fun.
And we got to link up in real life. I know.
Yeah, for sure.
You're in the CT area. I'll definitely make that happen. Anybody, you got anything going on that we should be looking forward to?
Nothing really planned out right now. Just, more news videos. Hopefully some interesting stuff sort of starts popping off. It's been a little quiet the past few weeks, but I think we're going to start gearing up towards, the holiday season where, some surprises come out and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, just same old. I do have a live channel now. If you search for RGT Live, I go live. I'm planning on going live like twice a week. Usually I think Mondays and Thursdays are going to be those days. So if you like hearing me talk about random shit and play random video games, that's the place to find me.
Nice. Let me find that. I usually.
Yeah. Do you think we get a Nintendo Direct next month or in September?
Yeah, for sure.
You think? Because they usually always do it in September, like every year, don't they?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it'll be like a direct or direct mini, but I mean, really the only difference is like a direct mini is like 25 minutes, whereas a full-on direct is like 40 minutes. I don't give a shit about the length, just show me games. But yeah, I definitely think there will be. I think they're going to do an Indie World presentation this month, probably towards the end of this month, and then in September there'll be a full-on sort of direct.
Man, I know that I'm hearing some stuff that like they're still not done with the Zelda 35th anniversary, that we still may get like the games we've been asking for, as far as like maybe like a Ocarina of Time port or like a Twilight Princess port or some shit. Like, because I'm a huge Zelda fan. I love Zelda. Like, that's one of my favorite series of all time. So I'm like, yeah, like I want these games on the Switch.
Yeah, that was one of the first things when I finished up Skyward Sword HD. I was like, fuck, man, I really want to play like Twilight Princess right now, but I am not dragging out my Wii U and setting that bitch up. But yeah, I think there's going to be more for sure.
Yeah, man, I hope so.
Awesome. Chris, you got anything going on?
Shit, man, not too much, man. Like, I'm honestly thinking about doing it because the whole thing with like Horizon Forbidden West, since it's still not confirmed, but like, come on now, like to me, like Jason Schreier reported it at that point, like to me, that's like pretty much confirmed. But yeah, I was thinking like, if Horizon came out this year, may have had like that big chance to kind of redeem itself back in 2017 when they got his ass whooped by one of the greatest games ever, Breath of the Wild. So, but now that it's coming out next year, and we have all these other games coming out, and one of the major ones that I'm looking forward to is definitely the sequel to Breath of the Wild. So it's going to be interesting, like how much more they improve upon Horizon, because I think it's going to be definitely more improved than the first game, but I don't think it's going to be anything crazy. Like if we're comparing the two, like Aloy and Link is way more powerful and has way more ability. So just off of gameplay possibilities, he's going to be able to do a lot more and shit like that. So, but I'm definitely looking forward to both, man. But it's gonna be hard. Next year is crazy, bro. Like you got God of War stuff, you got Breath of the Wild 2, you got Elden Ring and shit like that. It's gonna be insane next year. Next year is crazy. If all these some of these games probably gonna get delayed too, but if all these games like actually come out next,
Legend of Arceus is coming out as well too.
Oh, Pokemon
Arceus. That's an early 2022 game too.
Yeah, that shit's gonna be huge. That shit's in January.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one I want. Yeah. I don't give a fuck about Diamond and Pearl and all that bullshit.
Dude.
No.
Diamond and Pearl. That's my favorite generation. I'm still getting the remakes.
Yeah, I'm still copying the remakes and shit like that. But
I'm gonna have to do a review on those remakes, man. Because that was like one of the first games I got on the DS.
Next year is looking like one of those like years that like like a 98 year, like we just got this crazy, amazing games of like 1998 or in 2001 or some shit like that. I think next year is gonna be really good for gaming for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Jay, you got anything going on?
Yeah, I got my Halo Infinite preview thoughts and feedback on my YouTube channel. You guys can go to my YouTube channel, Dope as Shay. having some more content being put out as well as some live streams here and there. And yeah, it's pretty much. I think the next video I'm going to do is going to be on Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's going to be a pretty lengthy video. That one's going to be so. Still got to beat that game. Have a lot of footage I'm recording from that game as well, so that's going to take up a lot of space. But other than that, yeah, you guys can look forward to that.
And Ole Man Logan.
I'm just still streaming games on Twitch. So Ole Man Logan over on Twitch, and I'm putting out. Obviously, I'm gonna try that review thing up on YouTube. I did finally get around to, because my computer is messed up and stuff, my editing software program, that I did finally upload my Xbox Series S unboxing. So I'm gonna give a couple mess around with it still for a couple more weeks and record some footage and get some compiled, and then do kind of like a review on a Series S as well. Like I'm thinking of like 30-day review on it. So that's what I got going on.
Awesome. Give a shout out to Don Nataku for $2. I think RGT would like this. He says Breath of the Wild 2 about to tap Horizon's cheeks again.
It's gonna be tough because you got God of War as well. It's gonna be crazy,
it's gonna be crazy, bro.
Plus,
It's really gonna be insane.
I mean, plus install bases. I mean, you know, it's
Oh, yeah.
90 mil plus to 10 mil plus. Like,
not bad. Horizon is cross gen too, so it's on the PS4 as well.
Oh, that's true. That's true. They do have a little
Yeah.
bit. They do have a okay. But I mean, even so, looking at the best-selling PS4 games compared to the best-selling Switch games, it's like not even
No competition.
No, Switch is a fucking monster right now.
All right, so I appreciate everyone to come through. Keep it locked. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the like button. Got some videos that I will be doing as well. Some more reviews, some more previews as I'm getting access to things that I'm very excited about. So talk more about that later. Once again, shout out to RGT. You've been a blessing. Thank you, man, for coming through. I definitely appreciate it. Look forward to having you again in the future. As everyone else, Xbox is the best box. I am the best bot. Good night or good morning if you're on the other side of the globe. I am out of here. Peace.